Hello, welcome to my step-by-step guide on applying for the Tony Elumelu Entrepreneurship Foundation grant. Now, if you're a fashion designer, you're in the right place. My name is Doro. I'm a fashion designer. I've been a fashion designer for over 12 years. I started my fashion journey since when I was a child, and then when I got older, I went to the Yaba College of Technology to study fashion. I've been working in the fashion industry for over 12 years. In 2016, I decided to apply for the Tony Elumelu Foundation grant, and I got it. After getting it, I was excited. I just went crazy. I did so many things. I became the hub leader for North Central, and then I went on to have a very good career in fashion ready to wear. Now, this guide is supposed to help you submit a good application. Now, I've done some slides that I can make available to you if you drop your email address and and then I'll email the slides to you. Now, I looked at the application, so I could get exactly what it was they were looking for. And so we are going to go, we're going to go through what I made, and then we're going to also look at the platform to see how we can the TEF platform, see how we can fill the form. Who am I? I already introduced myself to you, and that's who I am. You can read more, and what is fashion? I'm always excited about fashion because it is one of the most interesting industries you can work in. It's stressful, but it's also interesting. You have to think about fashion in a big picture way. That way you'll be able to benefit from, the industry. And in your application, the excitement has to show, and so the first place where you want to show this excitement is in the aspect that talks about the business. So when you're doing you're filling out your application, there's certain things you have to have in mind, and certain things you have to highlight and really emphasize on when you're filling in the application. You have to emphasize on your team. Fashion is not just art. Don't let anybody deceive you. Fashion is a business. Now, some people do fashion to be popular. I am not one of them. I did fashion to make money. I wanted to sell markets. So I'm a salesperson. I can sell markets and I can sell fashion. And that's exactly what I did. I made very affordable clothing and I sold it to a very wide audience, and it was so diverse, and that was exactly what I wanted. I didn't want my name to be known. I don't even have my name on the label. I just wanted to move products, and that was what I wanted to do. And so my team was what helped me to do that. I got a digital entrepreneur that was shooting it out in the social media platforms. Now, that doesn't translate to customers, but it created an awareness of the brand. And from that awareness, a lot of doors were opening. I got the Microsoft Accelerate Lab. I won a pitching competition, all because of these type of promotion of the brand. So your marketing of your product is key in your application response. You have to really have a strong marketing team, or you have to be a strong salesperson, and you have to have the experience to back it up. So your marketing perspective, if you look at what I've written, it's all I am talking about. Then, of course, you can't market a bad product. You can. So don't over promise and under deliver. It's better to under promise and over deliver. So I say, I make simple clothing at affordable prices. Trust me, when you see my clothing, they are not so simple. And they are not, you would be expecting maybe not a very fantastic quality, but I have people who have been wearing my dresses for years. So I under promise and over deliver. And that's what you have to emphasize in your application. Now, there's an aspect of the application where they will ask you about yourself. Who are you? Plain and simple, who you be. It's not a time for you to be modest. No, they will not see you. So you have to toot your horn. In my application, I stated it was the truth that I had trained 100 fashion designers in a year, and I did it. I designed a curriculum that was able to prepare young students to become fashion designers in 1 year. If you ask me how I did that, I can tell you in another video, but not this video. But you need to put out something that will just blow their mind. It's not time for you to be doing, I'm not a proud person. No, it's time for you to talk about what you are, your story about yourself, and you have to make the story to flow. When I got into fashion, as a child, I was always interested in fashion because I grew up with my dad, and he didn't know how to buy female clothing. So whenever he clothing don't fit him, he would slim them up and give them to me. So I used to wear a lot of man clothes. So I used to watch movies and I used to wish I would have such clothing. Then I started drawing them, and when I got older, and I could sew, because I learned how to sew when I was pretty young, I started making clothing for myself. And then, everything just follows after that. And I realized also, because I'm a mother, that most people don't have so much disposable income. And fashion is not a necessity. So you have to remember that it's somewhat luxury. So you have to give people a good bang for their money. So I wanted to make designs people could afford that was also beautiful. So that has to flow. That chronology has to flow when you're telling your story. And always only talk about things that are relevant. Only talk about things that are relevant. I worked in the fashion industry for over 12 years. I started from the bottom up. So I worked in a factory, I was procurement, I was pattern cutter, I was sewing buttons, from the ground up. You have to say the story. If you don't have that kind of story, fine. But say your story as it relates to the idea. You don't want to say, oh, I worked as a hairdresser. Well, that also relates to fashion, but you don't want to say, oh, I worked as a dentist, and I feel that would make me a good fashion designer. That will never work. That's a lie, so it won't work. So you need to talk about aspects of your background that relates to your idea that you're submitting, and there has to be a flow. So I advise you write an overview of yourself now before you open the application, because the application is timed, and then you give someone to help you edit it, take out all the filler words and only put what is necessary. Talk about your strengths, your accomplishments, and then if you have partners that are going to be part of the submission or part of your business idea, you want to talk about your partners, especially if they have like some kind of strength. Like one of my partners was an MBA lecturer, so he had a good vast experience of business. You want to mention that also in the overview of yourself, because I think there's a part where you talk about your team. I don't know, I wasn't able to get to that part of the form, but if there is, then you want to put it there. But if there is none, please make one sentence for the strong person in your team to be there. They will also ask for your educational background. You'll be wondering, no be fashion. No be fashion. Fashion is very dynamic and it's very versatile and it's somewhat fragile. So you have to understand what this thing that you're doing is. A lot of people think, oh, I'll just cut clothes and sew. My dear, before you know anything, you will have piles of clothes in your shop. You have not sold them. So aside from sewing clothes, you have to know how to sell markets. You have to know how to package. So you are thinking of branding, you're thinking of promotions, you're thinking of marketing for fashion. You want to create an illusion. You want your customers, when they wear your clothes, they should feel a certain way, and all of these has to do with branding and promotion, and you have to show that in your educational background, you have to have some experience of doing that, or someone who has an experience of doing that, or you have seen someone do that. You have to have that also in your educational background. Of course, you want to put, oh, I went to university, I did this, I did that. So at least it shows that you have some level of education, but you also want to put your other educational qualifications forward, maybe if they don't have anything to do with fashion. About the business. So this business now, is it only you? If it's only you, have you registered it? So all of this has to come into your application. You have to describe the problem your business is solving. I wanted to make affordable clothing. Most people don't have so much disposable income. You want to describe how that business will solve the customer's problem. Okay, I have just 5,000 to spend every month, and I would like to have two new dresses. Those are the people. That's the problem I'm solving. You have to describe your customer. She earns so amount of money. She lives in this area. She has so amount of children. She doesn't have husband. She has husband. You want to describe your customer. Also your location. Location is very key in fashion, but these days that everybody is online, you want to know what social media platforms you should be on, because different customers are in different media platforms. Then, of course, your products, your team, and then how are you going to advertise and promote your product? Marketing plan, I already explained that. Without markets, there's no fashion. So you want to market, you want to really market your products, you know. So then the business objective, why are you doing this business? Why are you going into this business? What strategies are you going to use to achieve this your why? How long will it take you? What resources do you have? What resources do you need? And how will it benefit your community and how will it grow? You have to have all of this down before you start the application. And then funding requirement, whatever you do, there has to be a cohesion of all of your ideas. So you see from the other one to funding requirement, what do you need? You have already mentioned it there, and then that's what should be showing here. You can't say, oh, I need sewing machines, and then in this side, you are saying, oh, I need money to buy a laptop. What's the fashion designer using a laptop for? So all of that you have to put into consideration, that flow part of your application. And then the risk. Fashion is risky. Nobody needs to tell you. I'm telling you, it's really, really risky. But what are these risks? Operational risk. Tailors. Any fashion designer will tell you tailors is their number one headache. If you can solve your tailor problem, you have solved 90% of your fashion problem. And that's an operational risk. Financial risk, inventory, when you tie down money on clothing that you have not sold, that is a financial risk. Then supply chain risk. If you sell in stores, Jumia, all these places, you have to understand what's going on with those companies so that they don't disturb your own business. And then of course you have to be on top of all the events that are happening, around you, and especially in your industry. So I think that's that. In conclusion, fashion is interesting and it's very vibrant. Nigeria has a rich population, cultural population, Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa. We have all kinds of things that you can get ideas from. And there are a lot of international supports. I advise you to go into competitions, put yourself out there, because that's how you move your brand. You're like an expression of your brand. So put yourself out there, and then guard your designs. Take care of your tailor so that they don't run away and carry your design and go and give your competition. So that is that. Now let us look at the TEF platform, and see how we're going to fill the form. So you go to www.Tony Foundation or TEF Connect, I think. You go to tefconnect.net. So let me share that with you so that you see what I am doing. So you go to this, this platform, and then when you get to you go to this platform. When you get to the platform, you scroll down and click on apply now. When you click on apply now, I already started an application so I can get out those questions so I can explain them to you. So you see, I already started an application with a fictitious name and all that, just so I can know what exactly it is they will be asking for. So when you get here, you scroll down. No, you go to programs. When you go to programs, it will show you all the programs they are having now. This is the flagship program. That's the almighty $5,000 program. You see, I already started the application, 90% complete. I didn't want to complete it because I was just going to use it for this video. And then, so just look at this side. Don't look at this other side because I'm at the end, but look at this side, getting to know your bio, your idea and experience. And then there's a personality test. I can't teach you personality tests because people are different, but you want to be as honest as possible when you're answering them. And there's a cognitive test. How does your brain work? I can teach you that one also. So you do that. And then, of course, I'm in the last one, which is the declaration. I should have not moved quickly, but when you do the application, you would see, you would see, you will see all of these things. Now, I will give you my email address. So if you would like to get in touch with me, please send an email to this email address, and that's fameuniforms@gmail.com. I look at my emails every morning. So in top 2 days, I should be able to respond to your email. Now I expect you to ask me very cognitive, very interesting questions, and I'm always there to help you. Thank you for watching this video. I'm so excited. I pray you will win and God will be on your side. Good day and have a nice day. Bye.